That inner voice has both gentleness and clarity. So to get to authenticity, you really keep going down to the bone, to the honesty, and the inevitability of something. When you are real in your music, people know it and they feel your authenticity. As a white teen, I was very drawn to hip-hop culture, almost to the point of disappearing in it. There was a sense of having no sense of authenticity except this one that wasn't mine. What patients seek is not scientific knowledge that doctors hide, but existential authenticity each person must find on her own. The angst of facing mortality has no remedy in probability. Authenticity doesn't just mean you're not filtering what you're saying, it's about being able to know and access the best parts of yourself and bring them forward. More than any other candidate, Mr. Trump embodies the evolving norms of communication that are being enabled and encouraged by technology and the matrix of connectivity that defines modern life. Authenticity over authority, surprise over consistency, celebrity over experience. My fear now is of cliché, of complacency, of not being able to feel authenticity in myself and those around me. I've worked with people who wanted to be creative every day. It was like a goal to arrive with something very special. Sometimes it's just disturbing, because special is good when it's needed. But when it's not needed, it's confusing, and you go away from the authenticity by a strong desire to be unique and singular. I know of nothing more valuable, when it comes to the all-important virtue of authenticity, than simply being who you are. Authenticity, living your truth, kindness, these are necessary virtues. Enlightenment is the key to everything, and it is the key to intimacy, because it is the goal of true authenticity. A lot of the music I was inspired by growing up, college rock, DIY, what they used to call indie rock, has a value system where truth-telling and authenticity are oppositional with mass media, showbiz, and commerce. Authenticity matters, and, most importantly, the truth matters. There's this thing about authenticity when you rap, right? Whether or not it's real, it has to feel real. I worry that I use writing as therapy too much actually, which can inspire great authenticity and verve, but I do wish to spare the readers a full account of my own neuroses, so I try not to do it too much. It's hard to practice compassion when we're struggling with our authenticity or when our own worthiness is off balance. Why do millennials like Bernie Sanders so much? I love that this is a mystery to Washington. It's the authenticity, stupid. If you think dealing with issues like worthiness and authenticity and vulnerability are not worthwhile because there are more pressing issues, like the bottom line or attendance or standardized test scores, you are sadly mistaken. It underpins everything. I try to make music with emotion and integrity, and authenticity. You can feel when something's authentic, and you can feel when it's not. You know when someone's trying to make the club record, or trying to make the girl record, or trying to make the thug record. It's none of that. It's just my emotions. Authenticity is key. Truth is a point of view, but authenticity can't be fake. The keys to brand success are self-definition, transparency, authenticity, and accountability. I fought violently for the autonomy of architecture. It's a very passive, weak profession where people deliver a service. You want a blue door, you get a blue door. You want it to look Neo-Spanish, you get Neo-Spanish. Architecture with any authenticity represents resistance. Resistance is a good thing. We need to find the courage to say no to the things and people that are not serving us if we want to rediscover ourselves and live our lives with authenticity. If you consider the definition of authenticity, it's saying something and actually doing it. I write my own songs. I made my own videos. I pick my producers. Nothing goes out without my permission. It's all authentic. When people ask me who I'd want to have dinner with, dead or alive, I always say, John Lennon. I just feel that he was an artist who was, in his own way, committed to wholeness and authenticity in a not dissimilar way that I am years later. You don't have to spend much time in Shanghai before you start to get all existential about the meaning of authenticity. Did you know that Shanghai is building 9 satellite towns, each designed to mimic the architecture and culture of a different country? Hard times arouse an instinctive desire for authenticity. In fact, blockchain has the potential to fundamentally change how we share information, buy and sell things, interact with government, prove our identity, and even verify the authenticity of everything, from the food we eat to the medicine we take to who we say we are. Soul is about authenticity. Soul is about finding the things in your life that are real and pure. Some writers confuse authenticity, which they ought always to aim at, with originality, which they should never bother about. There's an authenticity in just being who you are and not having an act about it or wear clothes you normally wouldn't wear. I'm just comfortable in my own skin. Just because something's kinda indie and whatever and only a few people know it, it doesn't give it more authenticity over Rihanna's work. Children go where they find sincerity and authenticity. Authenticity is a virtue, but just as you can have too little authenticity, you can also have too much. If the Reddit community cannot learn to balance authenticity and compassion, it may be a great website, but it will never be a truly great community. Authenticity can't be replicated or fake. You're either real or you're not. There are more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history. If there's one theme in all my work, it's about authenticity and self-expression. It's the idea that some things are, in some real sense, really you, or express what you and others aren't. My work is about the establishment of trust. For someone to share their authenticity with me is a soul-to-soul thing. It's not a lens-to-soul thing. It's never too late to try authenticity. I think when people listen to music, they can truly feel authenticity. For me personally, as a listener, there's certain songs where I'm just like, man, I know that person was really feeling that. Authenticity is the alignment of head, mouth, heart, and feet, thinking, saying, feeling, and doing the same thing, consistently. This builds trust, and followers love leaders they can trust. It was reading Hamlet that ruined the concept of authenticity for me, not because Hamlet lacked existentialist credentials himself. Indeed, as an earlier discontented Dane, he could be said to have laid the ground for Kierkegaard, but because the line, "To thine own self be true," was spoken by that humorless old ninny, Polonius. Don't worry about what's cool and what's not cool. Authenticity is what's cool. The accusation that we've lost our soul resonates with a very modern concern about authenticity. The worst frame of mind to be in is what the fans like or what the fans want, because then you lose the authenticity of who you are as an artist and who you are as a person. Authenticity is very important. Be true to oneself. That's what rock music is, I think, constantly searching for authenticity, and being as honest as possible. Jesus lived a life that was full of joy and contradictions and fights, you know? If they were to paint a picture of Jesus without contradictions, the Gospels would be fake, but the contradictions are a sign of authenticity. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.